Welcome to What's New at AGBU. Today, I'm here with Miss Altunian. Hi, Miss Altunian. How are you today?
Fine. How are you, Anahit?
Good. So, Miss Altunian, this year you are the focus group coordinator. Could you please tell us a little bit more about the focus groups you oversee and a little bit about what interests each student has? What's the best for an AGBU student to go into each focus group?
Sure. So the focus group program at this school has been going for a little while now, from what I understand. At other schools they have them, they're called pathways or majors, and basically students with certain special interests sign up for one of the 4 focus groups we offer at AGBU. We have the health and medicine group, the engineering and technology group, the visual performing arts, design and communications group, and the last one is the business and law focus group.
I know that the focus groups recently went on a trip to the Catalina Marine Institute. Mm-hmm. I was one of them, where they participated in labs and activities to learn about the marine environment and just how to interact with it safely, but also have fun while doing it. Yeah. Could you tell us a little bit of what your typical day was like during the trip? What was some of the activities students had did?
Sure. So the Catalina Island Marine Institute, or CIMI, was where we went, and it was open to all focus groups, so it was a nice mix because this year we had at least one member from each. And while we were there, like you said, we learned a lot about oceanography, etc., and we had different activities that kind of had to do with the land, the sea, and the air. So we went snorkeling twice. One of them was in the evening. That one was a lot of fun. We went into the tide pools. We fished out crabs for the octopus. On land, we went on terrestrial hikes, learned about the trees and the plants that are native to the island. We went on an astronomy hike in the evening and got to look at the stars. That was fantastic, and some of the constellations. And yeah, we did some team building activities too when we were rock climbing together on the last day. And every day was full of activities from basically morning till evening. So. Yeah.
What was an activity you did that you think really took you out of your comfort zone?
Hello everyone, my name is Coach Rodney. I was recently a chaperone for the Catalina trip. So the one that made me step out of my comfort zone the most was actually this little nighttime Halloween maze they had, and it was dark, which doesn't bother me, but it was very narrow and tight, and I'm very claustrophobic. So that one definitely made me step out of my comfort zone.
The activity that made me step out of my comfort zone was definitely the tide pooling, because I've never caught crabs, and the first time I caught it I was kind of surprised, and it pinched me, but it's okay because it was really fun.
Something that made me step out of my comfort zone was doing the night snorkel, because the water was dark, but with some flashlights and our friends, it was a fun experience.
For me, there was a moment when we were tide pooling in the beginning. We had to scale a rock, and it was kind of crazy because I was looking at it and I was like, we can fall into the water, what's gonna happen? I was doing it one-handed while trying to take pictures of the students, so it was a little goofy at first trying to find my footing, but it ended up being one of the most fun activities we participated in, I think.
Amongst all the activities, I would have to say that the snorkeling was my favorite activity. We did both day snorkeling and night snorkeling, but my favorite part of the trip was just spending all the time with the kids.
My favorite activity was the astronomy hike, because we hiked at night, and when we looked up, all the constellations were there.
My favorite activity was snorkeling during the day and night, because I never went snorkeling before this, and it was a really great first experience. I really liked being in the ocean and just looking underwater and seeing a completely new environment.
What do you think students like me or even the other people that came on the trip learned from those experiences?
So I think the main thing I noticed that all of the students did was to really just learn how to let themselves be uncomfortable and then get through that feeling and be able to enjoy the new experience. I think there was a point in every activity where I saw every single one of the 7 students feel like they weren't sure when they were doing something or how they were going to get through it. But I really appreciated the fact that nobody gave up. Yeah. Nobody tapped out of the activity, said, I can't do this. And they all just kind of pushed through, and all ended with smiles at the end. So it seemed everybody was pretty happy with what was going on.
For the most part, I think they definitely got a nice little educational trip based on sea life and marine biology and all that. That was the focus of the group and the trip. And I just think they really learned how to push themselves to limits that they usually don't on campus, because we did a lot of different activities that forced them out of their comfort zones.
What would you say is something you learned on the trip?
I think mostly I learned things about you guys. It was actually my first field trip ever, so that was kind of crazy. My first field trip as a chaperone is what I mean. And to go from no field trips to a 2-night field trip, taking you guys on a boat and hanging out on an island, and it was kind of crazy all at once, but it was a lot of fun to get to know you guys and just see how far you guys were willing to push yourselves. And yeah, just to get to know your personal quirks and stuff as well, which is what happens when you spend time with people.
It wasn't my first time doing this trip, but every time I go on these trips, I do learn a little bit more about the marine lifestyle and whatnot. And I guess I learned more about every student that was there.
Would there be anything that you would change about next year's trip, or maybe have something like a little different that you think would benefit everyone?
The only thing I would want to do next time that we didn't do this time was definitely kayaking, so I hope we do that next year.
I honestly enjoyed this trip, but if I had to change one thing, it would be for more students to come and enjoy this very fun experience that we had at CME.
Well, the main thing is that as much as I loved having a small group, because we got to do a couple more activities and it was like nice and intimate, I would love more students to be able to experience that. So the main thing I would do would just be to advertise for it better, and we're already working on that.
Thank you for speaking with us today, Ms. Altunian. I really enjoyed interviewing you, and I hope next year, just like how you said, we have more students join us on the CME trip. Thank you for watching.